Welcome back to the show once again. Of course, real estate, always a topic at the top of mind of Vancouverites, and we have our expert.
We certainly do. Condo Leo is here, Leo Wilk, to tell us about what's going on in the world of real estate. How are you, Leo?
Excellent.
I almost called you Condo.
It happens more than you think.
Condo? Nice to see you.
That would have been awkward.
We're going to talk about a whole bunch of stuff today, but we're going to start off with interviewing agents. Is that what we're doing? Interviewing realtors?
It's kind of the process of pricing your condo. I always kind of say, make sure you have a few people that you're going to be interviewing for the job of selling your condo.
So this is for the sellers.
This is for the sellers,
okay.
yeah.
So where should they begin?
So to interview realtors, I mean, most people know realtors, or some people are going to want certain realtors if they're looking for. If they want someone young that's new to the business that's going to be super hungry, or someone that's been doing it for 20 years that knows everything about that building. So it's kind of, I always suggest, even if it's just, if I'm going in, I always suggest to any client, interview a couple realtors just on the phone to find out who you want to actually come and go through the consultation of, pricing your place or something, and see who you want to work with. Because at the end of the day, it's like you're in a short-term relationship, hopefully a short-term relationship when you go to sell your condo.
Yeah.
Could turn into a bit of an extended one, but just look at it as you're going to be talking to them a lot. You want to have a good relationship with whoever you're working with, because it's supposed to be a positive experience.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about the CMA. What is CMA?
The pricing, yes.
The CMA is a comparative market analysis. So it's kind of, a lot of realtors have different ones. Could be 1 page, could be 10 pages, and some might just show up and just do it verbally. Now they're going on iPads and everything like that too. But what it does is it's going to show you every detail that gets you to the price of our price suggestion for you. At the end of the day, the client's going to make a decision on what price they actually want, but we kind of say, this is where we want you to have your condo priced at for a sale.
There's all kinds of things that go into this.
Yes.
And I think anyone that's gone through it will be familiar with a lot of them. Like, what do they actually look at to come to the CMA?
There's a ton of things that you look at. You're going to look at. Luckily in Vancouver, there's usually 5 or 6 places that are on the market or have sold in your actual building. So it doesn't get any more comparable than that.
Right.
So you're going to look at places, why have places expired? Why are places still in the market after 30 days?
What do you mean by expired?
Expired, a typical contract for a real estate transaction is like 120 days. Right. Some people do shorter, some people do longer. But if it gets to the point where it's been on the market for 4 months, some people just take it off. They say, let's try this again. So why did that happen? Well, maybe it was probably because it was overpriced. Yeah. And there's you're going to look at your tax assessment. You want to see where that came in, because people are going to look at that and say, well, if it was, your assessment was 420, why are you asking 520 for this or something like that? But at the end of the day, the most important thing that's going to be in the CMA is comparable sales. So what has actually been selling in the last month or two that are the most comparable to your
So you shouldn't look too far back, because some people look back a couple years and go, well, they got twice as much.
Exactly. You don't want to go, well, my neighbor got X amount last year. Well, last year was
bananas.
And like you said earlier, it changes weekly sometimes.
Do you fold things like renovations you've done on the house and stuff like that into the CMA and into your pricing strategy, or do you just...
If someone has done significant renovations, you can take that into account depending on what you do. There's actually a really good site if you Google Renova, and they have an actual breakdown. You can put in the amount of money you've spent on your kitchen and see what expected return you're going to get.
Oh, wow.
So maybe do that before.
That would be sobering for people.
Yeah, and I always, a lot of times I hear people are going to do rentals, could you run them by me first? Because I want to let you know, you're not going to get a return on changing your microwave for $800, the built-in one. You're not going to get that. But things like that you don't got to worry about. Whereas, update your bathroom, really good idea.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've talked about things that you have to look at when you're doing your CMA assessments and comparable sales.
Yeah.
What shouldn't you look at that people tend to?
Well, again, don't look too far back.
Yeah.
The price you paid, unfortunately, just because you paid $350 doesn't mean you're going to get $400 for it.
Right.
Not everyone has made money in real estate, and even though most people have, not everyone has. And then you can't get emotionally involved in the pricing of your condo.
What are you talking about?
Exactly.
It must be so hard to talk people out of that too, because the emotional connection to real estate is the biggest thing.
And you know what? I fall in love with a ton of places I list. And for me, it's like, I love this place. I pay this much for it. But would the market pay that for it? And that's at the end of the day, if the market's not going to pay that, you're not going to sell it.
Okay, what is the pricing triangle?
Yeah,
it's kind of some go-to information for people.
Yeah, so the pricing triangle, you can see on the right there, it's percentage of buyers who will look at the property, percentage of qualified buyers, let's say. So right in the middle, you got the market value. So if you're priced right at market value, 60% of the people who are looking are going to be looking at your place. The qualified ones who are looking in that range.
And if you go up to, if you overprice your place, you are losing out and getting people through the door.
10%, you lose half of those people.
Yeah.
So, and that's why we always say, if you're okay with pricing a bit higher, just expect that it's not going to be as busy.
And it looks like pricing competitively can do you some real good.
Can do you really good. Like there's a lot of examples where people have had clients and they say the client wants X amount of dollars, and the realtor comes and will say, look, if you trust me, we price it here, we'll probably get close to that number. And I have a story where 2 places hit the market in the same development, exact same unit in 2 different towers. And one guy had it at $399, somebody had it at $374.9. The $399 had a better view. The one that was priced for $374.9 sold for $391. The other one sold for $385. Why? Because 100 people came to see that condo that's priced at $374 because it's very rare.
Right.
And then you had 8 offers on it.
Yeah.
Not that it's going to happen every time, but aggressive pricing.
But it does make
Interesting
sense.
strategy,
The more people, the more chances of offers you're going to get.
People want what other people want.
Okay, we're gonna talk about a couple other things. A feature building. We're letting you talk about a favorite building, one that you really like.
Yes, it's new to Vancouver. It's called the Beasley, built by Amacon. Really good, trusted developer in Vancouver. They've done a ton of stuff, the Brava, Melville, things like that.
Yeah.
And what's featured in this building, it's Vancouver's first actual dog park in the building.
What?
So on the 8th floor, you've got this, I think they're calling it a doggy deck or something like that, where you can actually go and there's gravel and there's a fenced area where you can let your dog off and let them run around and do their thing.
Wow.
So
that is so niche. I can't even believe it.
Yeah, but when you're talking about people that live in downtown Vancouver, so many people have dogs, and not everybody wants to take their dog out at 2 o'clock in the morning and go for a walk because they might feel unsafe.
Exactly, and it's one of those things where if you have a dog, it's great. If you don't have a dog,
who cares?
Also great, because those dogs aren't using your front entrance as a washroom. So it's going to work really good for everyone who owns it. You can see
Interesting idea. I'd love to see someone do that with cats, like have a little cat.
You are a cat lady.
Kind of
if you were walking your cat on a leash,
now we want to get to the bad MLS listings. You've chosen 3 pictures that are actually currently on the MLS listing service.
Yes.
That are bad photographs. So let's begin.
And we are supposed to look at them and give our interpretation of what. Well, this is just a terrible.
Was that
photo.
taken in 1920?
No, that looks like it's a hipstematic shot of the outside of the place that you're trying to sell, but it's terrible.
That was the only picture they had up to.
No interior, no anything else.
And I would have rather gone there and taken a picture with anything else than taking a black and white from 1940.
It looks like Riverview Hospital.
That does make it look insane.
It totally
That
does.
was really on MLS.
That is on MLS right now.
Wow. I kind of want an Easter egg. I want to go find it.
Okay, that's next.
Picture number 2.
Okay.
Person in the mirror.
Okay, but your reflection being in the bathroom mirror is an added bonus of weirdo.
And it's a good quality camera, but for some reason the person just couldn't angle themselves.
Oh, and they look so creepy.
And they're dressed nice. They got a tie on and
Why
the suit.
not?
Oh, that's marvelous.
Okay, we've got one more to
3.
get to.
This one's for Michael.
Oh my God, is there somebody in the bed? What? Is there somebody in the bed?
I think there's somebody in that bed. If there's not, it sure looks like somebody's in that bed.
They just crawled up, but if you look at the top left of the bedpost,
there's totally Oh my God!
It's
and that is currently on the MLS, probably for $500,000.
I do have to add the disclaimer that there are a lot of great photos out there. And a lot of good realtors taking great photos.
But this is how to not sell your place.
And maybe I should bring some great ones one day.
So you showed that photo because it's such a good idea, right? I mean, just to have it right there is so handy.
I would want that place furnished.
So if you want to find out more, you can go to Condo Leo's website. On the commercial break, these two are going to explain to me why there's toilet paper on the bedpost.